Good day everyone and welcome to Technology and Livelihood Education with Teacher T. We are preparing you to be a well-rounded customer service representative so that you can easily land a job in the BPO or business process outsourcing industry. We have learned that the BPO industry is still going to thrive in our country, even in the midst of pandemic. In fact, a lot of my friends are still working in their respective call center companies, although they now do their work from home. Previously, we also learned about grammar, specifically about subject-verb agreement and verb tenses. In today's episode, we are aiming to develop our writing skills. So, together with your friends and loved ones who are interested to learn, join me and let us learn together. I am Teacher T on TLE, Making Life Easy. Can you picture what a contact center job is all about? What objects come to your mind? Probably a headset with a really cute mouthpiece, a telephone, a computer. What do you think it feels like to work in a call center? Now I'm asking you this question because I want you to get excited about a job in a BPO industry. What I really like about working in a contact center in 2018 was being able to speak English most of the time. I also like the cold workplace and a nice cafeteria. We were also provided comfortable napping quarters and most importantly, a very nice salary. So what does it take to be able to work in a call center? First, computer skills that Sir Michelangelo Malariado teaches in grade 9 TLE. Second, English communication skills, which we are trying to help you with right now. And third, writing skills. Did you say what? Yes, I'm not joking. Writing skills are just as important as your speaking and listening skills for you to land a contact center job. In fact, when I work in a healthcare company located in the US, but of course I did not leave the country, because that company outsourced a contact center here in the Philippines. 20% of my job was to send emails to patients, doctors, hospitals, and insurance companies. Well, you probably thought that a call center would be all about calls. Yes, there are call centers that are all about calls, but from time to time, you will have to write anyway. Like when you take a leave or you write an explanation letter. Or if you become a team leader, a supervisor, or a manager, you will have to be good at writing because you are going to write memos, proposals, instructions, and emails. But do they have to be written? Why can't you just tell the other party what you would write in your email or your memo? Let me answer that. Writing your message has a couple of advantages. According to Lilet Labina, a corporate communication trainer for effective business writing,
writing has advantages and disadvantages. When you compare it to speaking scenarios, face-to-face situation or telephone conversations, written communication can be planned, analyzed, reviewed, and edited before you send them out as opposed to oral conversations. However, you have to consider that all written communication is one-dimensional. It lacks the other important elements of communication, such as verbal tone, inflection, or body language and facial expressions. It's all about your word choices, the conciseness of your phrasing, as well as the overall organization of your ideas.
wow, that explains it well. To summarize, these are the advantages of written communication. Number 1, it can be planned. Number 2, it can be analyzed. And number 3, it can be edited. And I want to add that written communication is more permanent and reliable because you cannot defend yourself when you're in trouble by saying that your team leader or trainer told you something that put you in trouble. It is important to remember the saying in call center that if it's not documented, it never happened. Imagine if you get blamed for an action you did as an agent, but there was a memo to back you up. Even your superior cannot deny the validity of your action because it was written down somewhere. Written communication is essential because it allows the documentation of things that may be used as evidence for everything that we do. I hope that I'm able to point out why writing has its own place in the workplace. Going back to the effective business writing by Ms. Lavina, she says, To effectively communicate your message to your audience or reader, you must arm yourself with the following. Number 1, the proper mindset. Number 2, clear communication objectives. Number 3, an awareness of the issues that affect the quality of your written communication. Let us study and learn these topics one at a time. Let us start with a proper mindset. Hence, what mindset should you have? She says, a mindset of excellence, which she further broke down into 3. Number 1, critical thinking skills. Number 2, positive can-do attitude. And number 3, customer service orientation. Critical thinking skills mean you are able to isolate the main issues from sub-issues, and you ask why to get to the root cause of any situation. For example, you are asked to write an explanation letter about commitment that remains unfulfilled. The reasons may be one or all of the following. Your task is to think critically to identify what the main issue is and to solve it from there. These are the issues. Number 1, the order was not processed. Number 2, the customer was not notified about the cancellation of an order. Number 3, the patient's insurance is expired. Number 4, the patient has no contact information except for an email address. By asking the question why, we can easily identify what the main issue is and the root cause of the complaint, and that is the patient is lacking some essential pieces of information. In this scenario, we cannot put the blame on the customer. Your job as a contact center representative is to serve your customer, so thinking critically also requires assessing the customer's frame of mind. In a healthcare setting, the inability to provide the ordered medical equipment on time can cost lives. With this in mind, how are you going to plot your written explanation? Number 1, express understanding and concern for the customer or patient in this scenario. Number 2, explain that an updated insurance coverage is needed to continue the processing of the order. Now that you have these 2 ideas to write your letter with, do not forget to apply a positive can-do attitude that focuses on the solution. You do it by not dwelling on the problem, but by being proactive and resourceful. Proactive is synonymous with what we learned about personal entrepreneurial competencies. Can you guess what the counterpart of proactiveness is in the personal entrepreneurial competencies we learned in our first episode? Yes, it is having initiative and taking full responsibility for the business. So, that is the reason why we have not written in our notes that the problem is the customer has no updated insurance. Rather, we are clear that the solution is that the insurance should be updated. Even though they kind of express the same idea, this is where being tactful in your choice of words and phrasings become a crucial skill. Now that you know what to do, you have to communicate the solution to your customer or patient because you feel the urgency or the burning desire to solve the problem. Now, how are you going to translate all this information into a single explanation, or more appropriately, in our setting, a request letter? Well, you have to pay attention to all the details, the 5 W's and the 1 H. The why, what, who, where, when, and how.
Let us now write our letter. Dear John Doe, we are writing to inform you that we will be able to process your order upon the receipt of your updated coverage. We are committed to delivering our medical equipment on time, and we apologize for this unexpected delay. To facilitate the updating of your insurance, we called your insurance and we were informed that you are no longer using Green Cross Care. We would love to process your order the moment we obtain your new insurance information. You can update your record to us by calling 022-1234-5678 or sending email at abchealthcare.com. Thank you for being the best part of our company. ABC Healthcare. What do you think of our letter? Can we now send it to the customer? Does our letter answer the 5 W's and 1 H? Why? To inform him or her of the unprocessed order. What? The medical equipment. Who? The insurance company. Where? By calling or sending email. When? Patient can now call anytime. How? By updating the information anytime to facilitate the order.
Considering that we applied the proper mindset and a positive can-do attitude and a customer service orientation in our letter, do you think it is ready for sending? Is our letter good? Yeah, kind of. But we are committed to excellence, right? Kaya di pwede ang pwede na. What can we change to improve our letter? Aha! We have not discussed about the business letter formats yet.
Generally, business letters conform to one of the 3 indentation formats. Number 1, full block. Number 2, modified block. And number 3, modified semi-blocked. Semi means that the first lines or paragraphs are indented. Modified means that the sender's address, date, and closing are significantly indented. Full block. All text is aligned to the left margin, including the date, signature, and closing. Paragraphs are not indented. Single spacing is used within the paragraphs and double spacing between. Modified block. All text is aligned to the left margin. Paragraphs are not indented. Single spacing is used within the paragraphs and double spacing between. The date, signature, and closing are placed to the right, thus allowing them to stand out. The complementary close and the signature are aligned and placed near the center of the letter, 2 spaces below the last paragraph. Modified semi-block. All text is aligned to the left margin. Paragraphs are indented. Single spacing is used within the paragraphs and double spacing between. The date, signature, and closing are placed to the right, thus allowing them to stand out, and the complementary close and the signature are aligned and placed near the center of the letter, 2 spaces below the last paragraph.
Finally, we learn about the different indentation formats. We now have a reference to pattern our letter format. Let us choose one format and join me as I improve the letter that we wrote to our patient earlier.
I chose to pattern our letter to John Doe from the full block format. Let us put letterhead first. ABC Healthcare 123 Mellowbrook, Utah 1235. Let us correct the font, and I forgot to put Salt Lake. Let us go ahead and type it. Then, let us change the date format. Then the name of our patient, his address right below his name, like this. Easy, right? As long as we have a pattern. Okay, we are done with the letterhead. The date with the 1 to 2 spaces? Yeah? Okay, good. Receiver's address, 1 to 2 spaces as well. There you go. And the subject is durable medical equipment. Then all we need to do is to add spaces in between paragraphs like this. After that, the complementary close with 3 spaces for signature. Name and position, 1 to 2 spaces. Okay, there. Our letter is ready for sending.
I want to share you what I learned from Lilet Lavinia's book, as she quoted it from Aristotle. We are what we consistently do. Excellence, therefore, is not an act, but a habit. Isn't it powerful and inspiring? That in everything we do, we should be performing the best we can. Thank you everyone for joining me, and I hope that you feel empowered and hopeful that your life will be easier. I am Teacher T on TLE, making life easy.